quite a lot. We had our headmaster. I had the past one was called Mr. Gokota from Nashville High School. That's where I went to school. I did my Form 1 to 4 there, and then I proceeded later on to do my A-level at Thornhill. So every time I would get into a class and he says good morning, you wouldn't answer. You would repeat it until you all respond. So I really want to thank you. It's a great honor for me to be here. I had initially decided not to read my prepared speech, but after realizing that Her Excellency and together with our Deputy Ambassador were reading, just thought I should also follow suit. Is that okay? Okay. The Director of Ceremonies, Adani, the Technomag CEO and founder of the Tech Convergence Fora, Mr. Tony representatives of UNESCO, Dr. Yusuf, representatives of the ITU, Ms. Halima Letamo, Her Excellency, please let me recognize you. Thank you very much for representing the Embassy of Russia here. She's my namesake, Anastasia, so I always call her Her Excellency Anastasia. Allow me to end there. Our Deputy Governor, Doc, we really want to appreciate you and thank you very much for being part of this conversation. I understand we're going to be having honorable members of Parliament joining us. Let me also acknowledge our Director General from Portras, Dr. Gift Kalisto Machengeti. Dr. Machi, I've already recognized you. The Technomag team and organizing committee are here present. Esteemed panelists and speakers, we're going to be having Professor Adam Tambara, and we really want to appreciate his efforts towards aiding up to our intellectual capacity by writing books which concern or which are skewed towards artificial intelligence. We really want to appreciate him. Now, Dr. Panashe Chiwurunge, Engineer Maposa, Skelo Dube, Dr. S. Chinofunga, Dr. Nkala, Mr. Samuel Damiano, Mr. Willard Shoko, Mr. J. Machira, Mr. Tai Tsoro, Mr. Nyara Nyandoro, Ms. Loretta Songola, Mr. Willard Nyagwande, Dr. Wisparukanda, Mr. Malvin Chisho, Mr. Kadi Shawanjanja, Professor Sam Takabarasha, and I understand we're going to be having various influencers who are going to be joining us to have a conversation around how the digital space is affecting our various celebrities in the country and all other distinguished presenters and contributors. Representatives from our telecommunications operators, fintech institutions, and ICT startups. All our secondary schools who are here represented and primary schools, if ever they are. I see Heritage is also here. Thank you very much, and we want to appreciate Heritage for the work that they're doing in terms of AI skills. We really want to appreciate you. Members of the fourth estate, let me recognize you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Last year at the inaugural launch of the Tech Convergence Fora, I stood before you and made a commitment to make 2024 a listening year. I pledged to return not merely to speak to you, but to engage with you to listen and to share sector progress as we continue shaping Zimbabwe's digital future together. Today, I'm very honored to be back again, not just as your minister, but as a fellow stakeholder walking this digital journey with you. The Tech Convergence Fora has become a flagship platform for the digital ecosystem, uniting our regulators, innovators, policymakers, financiers, and technology users. It is a deliberate, open, relaxed, and inclusive platform where we allow for frank, solution-oriented conversations about the challenges and opportunities in our ever-evolving ICT and fintech landscape. Allow me at the same time to be able to primarily listen and to listen to you the innovators, the entrepreneurs, our social media influencers, as I can see, Madam Boss and Rogesa just entering. Thank you very much for coming. And our various service providers, investors, and consumers. It is through such dialogue that we build consensus. It is through consensus that we build progress. Despite the various economic headwinds, our ICT sector continues to post encouraging growth. At the latest Portras report, mobile voice penetration has surpassed 102%, indicating that Zimbabwe now has active SIM cards than its total population. Our national data penetration continues to be on an upward trajectory, now standing at 81.8%, reflecting the growth appetite for digital services, e-commerce, and online content. Equally encouraging is the performance of our mobile financial services sector, which has recorded robust revenue inflows driven by mobile money transactions and international remittances. These growth indicators demonstrate the digital economy is fast becoming the heartbeat of national commerce and everyday life. This progress is the product of your innovation, your investment, and the enabling policies that government continues to provide under the visionary leadership of our President, His Excellency, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, whose mantra is leaving no one and no place behind. This is going to guide our digital transformation journey and strategy as we march towards a digitalized 2030. When we met at last year's forum, many of you passionately called me and thanked me for the licensing of Starlink in Zimbabwe. You said you needed more affordable, reliable, and high-speed satellite internet, particularly in remote and underserved areas. And today I had a conversation with Ora, which is represented here, when they were also showing me their data packages. We hope they'll have more conversations on us working towards having at least more affordable data packages. This is a journey which starts with a step, and we need to be able to work towards having this and having more conversations. We also have got our telco players here represented, Econet, Net1, and we continuously want to thank them for the efforts that they're making towards having more data packages. Yes, I understand this has always been the talk. A lot of people would say we want our data to be as cheap as it can be, which I totally agree, but it's a journey. Let's start off with a step. Let's see and appreciate the strides that they're making, and also looking at the current environment. So we want to applaud them. We believe that there are more conversations which need to be done, and continuously be able to offer more data packages which are affordable to the general population of Zimbabwe. Starlink has officially been operational in Zimbabwe with our various players also. They've got their agents which are here in Zimbabwe, which we want to appreciate, which I want to also acknowledge that our country is one of the fastest in the region to embrace this cutting-edge technology. In fact, Starlink has since been identified in Zimbabwe as one of its leading African markets, a direct testament to the appetite and readiness of our nation's innovation drive. This success was a policy which was intervened, personally championed by our President, His Excellency Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, to promote ease of doing business and expand broadband accessibility to all corners of our country. We are now looking at the next phase, the localization of ground stations. I know Willard Shoko is going to be presenting today. On Twitter, he has always spoken about this, and he says it's important that we have our own localized ground station in Zimbabwe. But it starts off with the basics. Which are the basics that we need to be communicating today? Allow me again to actively say there is need for us to explore ways to attract and facilitate companies with the capacity to bring and operate ground stations in Zimbabwe. which will enhance connectivity quality, reduce latency, and improve resilience in our broadband infrastructure. My ministry is already working on frameworks to make Zimbabwe a viable and attractive destination of such high-capacity investments. We also acknowledge that the cost of internet access remains a concern for both consumers and service providers. Much of this cost is driven by the high capital expenditure required for network deployment and maintenance. As a country, we are happy that ITU has assisted us in having broadband mapping. And this broadband mapping is going to assist us and identify areas where there are gaps, where we need as a country to be able to see how we can mitigate on areas where there is no connectivity. I've often said the investment that we've put in establishing base stations is quite significant. Even in terms of what Portras is doing, we really want to appreciate the efforts through the Universal Services Fund, where we have the tower relocation program. And this tower relocation program is also capacitated by us having a shared infrastructure program. The shared infrastructure, yes, we want to appreciate our telco players. They've really been supportive in us enhancing this. And there is great need for us to enhance our digital infrastructure as a country. In that effect, we want to say there is still more need to enhance our capacity in terms of connectivity, which is the basics and the foundation for us to work with as a country. We want to say there is need for us to roll out and manage shared telecommunications infrastructure across the country. This is going to promote infrastructure sharing, reduce duplication, and enhance affordability, particularly in rural and marginalized communities. Yesterday, at the pre-budget seminar in Blawe, please allow me, can the media team, please briefly beam what our Honorable Speaker said yesterday. Yesterday, I called upon Treasury to seriously consider the reduction and removal of some of the taxes currently levied on telecommunications operators and service providers. This call is aimed at promoting sector growth, stimulating innovation, and ultimately ensuring that Zimbabweans enjoy better and more affordable digital services. I firmly believe that by creating a more supportive fiscal environment, we can attract additional investment, lower operational costs, and accelerate the expansion of connectivity, specifically in underserved areas. Before I conclude, and I want us to be able to just have a look at that video, and we want to discuss. It's very important that we have an open discussion. I understand this fora has got high-tech people. I'm a policy person. You need to understand and appreciate that where I come in is more policy. And I give the policy direction. After a consultative approach that I do, I've got a technical team in my ministry. And this is also prevalent in all other ministries. As a minister, you give policy direction. You can never be a technical person. Don't ever expect me to be very technical. If it means that we become technical, we're very happy and glad that we'll get technical people in our various ministries. But a minister is in charge of policy direction. Therefore, as you can see, what we need to do is to provide for policy direction. And the policy direction is also done in consultation with our various technical people in our various ministries. Let me all invite you to the Zimbabwe's ICT Excellence Awards 2025, which is scheduled on the 27th of November at HICC. These awards are our national platform to celebrate excellence, innovation, and leadership in the ICT sector. I encourage all of you to nominate deserving organizations and individuals who are making a difference in our digital landscape, and to join us on that day as we recognize the champions driving Zimbabwe's digital transformation. Last year we awarded our very own Strive Masiwa. We gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award for the work that he has done in this country. And we continuously engage all these people. I'll tell you, recently I had a meeting with Ralph and Peter from MTN. I also had a meeting with Dr. James Manika from Google. And all these are our very own people who have done well, to just mention a few. They have done well, and we've got an open door policy, and we're inviting them to come through and invest in our country. I need a clap of hands there. We want them, we will continuously, if ever there are any of the impediments that they think they deem necessary and they need policy direction, they need to communicate to us. Communication is key for the development of any country. And these people, they've done a lot, and we want to appreciate them. And we want them to come and invest in the country. If we have been able to recognize them at that level, for example, Mr. Strive Masiwa, we've been able to recognize them at that level to say we appreciate the work that you're doing. We will continuously say there is great need for them to come. We want their thoughts. We want their expertise to come and invest in the country. Please allow me for us to quickly, just the first 3 minutes, they are the ones which concern our ministry. Let's listen attentively to what the Honorable Speaker said yesterday. Please. There is no volume.
Why?
Let's start again. Let's start again.
Of one data center.
Can you start from the beginning again? Immediately.
Mavetera, while we were still on ICT, you want to start a little ICT park. Why? Why? That is defeating that whole idea of one data center. And in my conversation with you, I said Google is prepared to fund you, to fund the government on a centralized hub. And we discussed that this centralized hub will not be for Zimbabwe government only. And I said, and talking to James Manika, the vice president of Google, we agreed that if we put in place enablers A, B, C, D, which we discussed, that hub will be a regional hub for the whole of SADC. And when we met in Victoria Falls, Honorable Minister, you remember, you made that statement, and parliamentarians from the SADC Parliamentary Forum agreed with you. And that's the way to go. And if you read this 2025 AI Index report produced by Stanford University, you'll be clearly directed as to how you can establish that. Relatedly, it will also give you how you rope in the private sector. Government can't do it alone. It will show you the matrix of bringing in the private sector. And you relieve Treasury from the fiscal burden. So that should be the way we go. And the other issue is one of laptops. Now, I don't know to what extent you have engaged Bindura University. They are producing their laptops Parliament has seen them. They are of good quality. They are of good quality. Huh? Let's coordinate with our universities. They are doing wonders there. Now, while I'm talking about university, I was very disappointed on the Honorable Minister of Finance.
Can we stop it?
That,
Thank you. Thank you. Let's end there. This is a forum that we need to have a very, very honest discussion. And these were my thoughts. I'm sure if you go on my Twitter, I've made a very, very elaborate explanation of what I think needs to be done. There is no problem whatsoever in us having, we didn't deny that, for us to say that we are going to have the Technopark. The Technopark then is more or less like a center of excellence. And on the center of excellence, what we had said is we need to look at the current context in Zimbabwe, where we have got our innovation hubs, where we have got our digital centers. Because as a country, we have got a thrust of decentralization. That's number one. And we are saying that we don't need to leave anyone in any place behind. So all these systems that we are putting in place are going to feed on the ultimate goal of us being able to develop a technology park. And there is need for us to greatly be able to collaborate. But as much as we collaborate, where is our data sovereignty going to be? And how are we going to also make sure that as a country, we are very much ready for such a hyperscaled data center? We have a national data center currently as a country, which needs to be upscaled, upgraded, or even for us to even create a new one. And looking at our technology park, definitely there's never a time we can have a technology park without a data center. So what is immediate and what is the priority right now? We are glad that as a country we have got a resource of intellectual capacity, where we've got our young people who are ready to go and want to contribute towards technology. This is one which we should use, but we need them to make sure that they are equipped to be ready for that. So allow me to have you discuss, and let's interrogate and be able to discuss on that. This is an open conversation. I will de-roll and find out your thoughts. Please, may I have a roving mic, as we would want to hear your thoughts around that.